What's up, y'all? This is John, Mike, and Caleb back for another episode of the Nothing Finer podcast. If you watch on YouTube, you're on our live right now. You'll see that Mike is not with us. Technology just hates us in general. So we are working through that on his end. But we're back for another episode of the Nothing Finer podcast. We're super excited. Week one is here. Week one was crazy. Week one is still not over.
Yeah.
But so if you're not here with us tonight, live on YouTube, that's fine. You can catch us live on Millions on Thursdays. Like I said, Sundays we're live on YouTube, and then we'll be at the Rock House on Tybee for away games. First one is in 12 days from today, and that is the Tennessee game. But if you can't catch us at any of those places, we're on audio with the Fans First Sports Network, and then for a little quick 5 minutes, I am on Rock 106.1 at 6:15 on Fridays. Lot of information there, but best way to keep up with it is social media. At Nothing Not Finer at Pod on Instagram, at FinerPod on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Just look us up. You will find us there. Unintentionally did all the stuff up front.
Nice.
So, week one, crazy, not over. Before we get into all that, how have you been and what are you drinking?
I have been tired, to be honest with you, because we just got back from traveling, driving all the way up here from where I stayed all weekend, which was Hira, Georgia, which is a city known only to me and the 60 other people who have ever lived there in my lifetime.
I know someone who
But
lives there.
really? Oh, that's right. We talked about this before. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Um, yeah, so you know it exists because you know one of the other 60 people. That's great.
That is fair. Yeah. I feel
But
like 2 of 60 is a really top tier number.
yeah, that's
Or of 2 of 60 that have ever lived there.
yeah. If you were a limited edition trading card with that kind of,
Right.
you'd be worth a lot of money. I am not worth that much money, but we'll figure that out one day. And I am drinking. Apparently, Jersey Mike's has their own special root beer deal. So
Oh.
hashtag not sponsored, but figured I'd give it a try because I like root beer. How are you?
Yeah, good. I was also driving for a good bit today, probably not as long as you. But got back. I did, if y'all notice what this is on the YouTube. This is the jersey that I ordered
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
I did have to actually go to the bookstore on Saturday. I talked to, like, they have a whole custom jersey counter now. They do like custom hats and jerseys and all sorts of stuff. The renovation at the bookstore is awesome. But I went over and I was like, hey, I ordered a jersey 3 weeks ago, and according to your website, it has not been made, shipped, and I can't get anyone to respond to an email or phone call. I kind of just want to know what's going on or see if I can get a refund. And they're like, oh, no problem. Write down your order number, your first name, your last name, your email. Be back tomorrow at lunchtime and we'll have it ready.
Nice. Okay.
So I got it. It's
Cool.
also
And who is that on the jersey? Who?
it is the one and only Cash Jones.
Who?
Ooh.
But no, dude. So if you're cheap like me and find the Ghetto or DH Gate jerseys because you don't want to pay as much as it costs for one, the ones from the bookstore are actually really comfortable and much more breathable than any of the Ghetto Chinese stuff you can buy. So highly recommend. It is more expensive, but it is worth it.
Yeah, I want to get an Elijah Griffin one once he's like in the rotation to support our Savannah boys.
Sounds like he's already in the rotation. We'll talk about it later, I'm sure. He got in there quite a bit.
Yeah.
After the transfer portal is what it is, I get jerseys and guys in their last year of eligibility.
Fair.
That's how I do it because man, God forbid, let's say I bought Man, let's say I had a Carson Beck jersey last season
Yeah.
when we
Oh
were all
gosh.
excited. I saw
We, we
so
made
many,
T-shirts.
dude, I saw so many Carson Beck jerseys at the game where
Oh
people
no.
have just tape over the last name.
Who's number 15 on the team this year? I'm curious. Is there anybody?
I don't know, but somebody
I
literally just
I
had
always
a
felt like
single strip of electrical tape over Carson Beck's name.
see, I always felt like, he got it because he grew up a Florida fan and was a big Tim Tebow fan. I always felt like 15 because of Tim Tebow should be a band number. This year it's Ryan Montgomery, wears number 15,
Okay.
Oh,
along with a
okay.
sophomore
Freshman
defensive back
quarterback.
named DeMello Jones.
DeMello Jones, I felt like he was one of the ones that got burned in the fourth quarter, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
hang on, let me find the
He's from
guy who really
Swainsboro.
got
Hey,
burned.
we respect the Southeast Georgia boys.
The person who really got burned was Rashawn Dinkins, excuse me, freshman safety, number 27 from Warner Robins, Georgia. Which,
That's right.
true freshman getting out there and getting real playing time. You're gonna,
Against an FBS opponent, nonetheless.
yeah, one keeping their starters in pretty much the whole game. You're gonna see some spin moves you're not ready for yet. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But you did ruin the shutout and my
Um.
cover.
Yeah.
Hey, I was right.
You
Might be
were.
the only thing I was right about, but I was right.
I was right about the under, but again, wasn't right about anything else. You
Um.
want to get into the insanity that
Yeah.
was week
Let's.
one?
Because I mean, it's not even in the notes, but like just some overall what the hell happened in week one. Did anyone have Boise getting blown out by USF on their bingo card for Thursday at 5:30?
I didn't have
Nope.
them getting blown out, but I was not shocked to see them lose. That's why I didn't have them as my group of five rep. But
And it's
yeah, no,
so here's what blows my mind the most about that game. We're not doing a full breakdown of this one, but they have two running backs that are like 60 to 75% as good as Ashton Genty was last year. And it didn't matter. They have the same
Yeah.
quarterback as last year, and it didn't matter. Their defense was pretty good, but USF was just like, oh, hey, Tampa were good at football in high school. All these guys that go to like Alabama and don't get playing time, we're just going to pay them like half as much to come here as sophomores and beat everyone that we play.
Yeah. Seems like we might have slept on South Florida this year, guys. It really does.
Tampa decisively South Florida.
Yes. Decisively.
Well, as we've been proponents on the show for I think 2 years now, they're actually UWF. Um,
Right.
but that's decisively worse sounding.
Yeah,
Yes.
most of the time.
So yeah, getting into just kind of some overall stuff. I personally feel like I know a lot less today than I did a week ago. Because a
Yeah.
week ago, the things that I was confident in did not happen this week.
Hmm.
On Friday, Haynes King looked like a freshman for 3 quarters of that game.
It was
Georgia
Texas
Tech,
A&M Fates game.
yeah, Georgia Tech had no defense at all, and
Yep.
that's not even a game that we talked about. Uh, Getting
Oh,
into
but we were all pretty high on Georgia Tech, though, pretty publicly.
Yeah.
yes, and to be fair, Georgia Tech sucked at the beginning of last year too. Like
Yeah.
they needed a walk-off field goal to beat
I was
a
gonna say
2-10
they beat a
Florida
top
State
10
team.
team. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Florida's week one or /0 Florida State is a wild one. But y'all know if you listen to the show for a while, I normally find some way to have a solid takeaway from most games. And normally, like if I have an idea of something, we get into the season, first couple of weeks, I'm like, yeah, this is my opinion. I have it based off of preseason research and during the season evidence. This is my opinion. I don't care what you tell me. I'm sticking by it. And so far, I don't have those. I just there's nothing. I will say I was wrong about a few things this week.
Weren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody, you're going to talk about that. I'm not gonna steal your thunder there. But yeah, anything non-Georgia related, I'm not sold. I have
Yeah.
no stock in anybody that's not Georgia right now. Because Arch looks like he has not been sitting behind a good to top level quarterback in college football and being coached by one of the best offensive minds for the past 2 years. Alabama just, man. All right, so here's the thing about Alabama. All offseason, the three of us were like, what are they good at?
Yeah, what is Alabama? That's
Right, like so far we have Ryan Williams and Ryan Grubb. That's what Alabama's supposed to be good at.
Well, Ryan Williams might be dead. Like he,
yeah.
I mean,
He
He
might be
that's not
dead,
funny.
No, it's
but
not funny.
also, the last time Ryan Williams had a touchdown catch?
Georgia. It was a Georgia game, right?
It was Mercer.
Oh, well, he hasn't had a 100-yard game since Georgia in what, 4 last year or whatever it was.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, cool. You have the zombie of Ryan Williams and Ryan Grubb. What else are you good at, Alabama? Please, someone explain this to me. And if you're saying, oh, well, Kalen DeBoer's won everywhere that he's coached, are you talking about NAIA and being an offense coordinator at Indiana, in which he got throttled by the only good team he played that year?
Right.
Or the 2 years it took him to do anything at Washington, in which he had three NFL wide receivers, an NFL quarterback, an NFL running back, and like three NFL defensive backs
Hmm.
against a conference full of guys that don't play defense, notably the Pac-12.
Yep.
So like I get it. We all thought Kalen DeBoer was going to be at least okay, but there are Bama fans calling for his job,
Yeah.
and that's
Five,
not
five,
funny.
5-5 in his last 10 games. I think that's tough.
Yes, 5-5 in his last 10 to me still does not mean I'm forking over $70 million.
God, no.
No.
I'm curious. I'm curious if if this kind of keeps going on the pace that it is, if he's really is a 500 coach, if they're going to do like next level Auburn stuff and have a uprising a la Brian Harsin.
Oh, funny enough, Gus Malzahn was the offensive play caller that beat Alabama again.
Loves
Yep.
beating
He sure
Alabama.
was.
He
You know,
tweeted about it.
good old sweater vest.
Yeah.
You can't expect him to be good against anybody but Alabama.
Yeah.
But
Gus looks like Gus looks like he's older than Corso
he
now.
does.
Yeah.
Orlando aged him
Mhm.
quite
Yeah.
significantly.
Yeah. But guys, I don't even know. Like, I mean, obviously, people are rightfully praising Gus for the play calling in this game. I don't even know that it was just the play calling, because like I watched Alabama linebackers get thrown to the ground like children.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I saw Alabama offensive linemen completely fail to prevent any Florida State defenders from getting to the backfield.
It turns out
It-
Caden Proctor's not that guy.
yeah, it took new Alabama head coach Yankee Magoo exactly one full season to make Alabama soft, and it would make me angry if it weren't so funny.
It
Like
didn't even take a full season because they were like, dude,
they were soft at the end of
they were
last year.
kicking footballs
Yeah.
and pitching fits on the field last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no wonder Nick Saban's favorite team right now seems to be Georgia if you watch game day. Like every time somebody brought up the elite teams, Saban made sure Georgia was included. Desmond Howard was naming a list of all the elite coaches in the sport. Didn't mention Kirby Smart. Nick Saban corrected him on that.
Yeah.
Dez.
I think Georgia might be Nick Saban's favorite team right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's because Kirby has taken all the lessons he learned from Saban and implemented them with fans that don't marry their cousins. Like that's the difference right now
That is.
between prime Alabama program and what Georgia has. Oh, Kirby did adopt a dual threat quarterback in less years than it took Saban.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's about it, you know. Um, all right.
Yeah. Can I get to my conspiracy theory before we move on to individual games?
Yeah, 100%.
So you might notice only one person was right about everything this week, and that was the man, the myth, the legend, Lee Corso. And look, maybe, Lee Corso's last game, maybe God himself came down from the heavens to give Lee Corso
Yeah, dude, they
the
got a
future
meeting next week. They've
for his
they've
last.
been emailing talking about it.
Oh,
Dude,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Corso is like the next Ozzy in that regard, right?
Oh gosh, let's.
Okay,
Hopefully.
yeah, we need to do a lot of knocking on wood here because
Yeah, I
just
know.
said some stuff.
Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is he knowing he was going to retire, either God came down and told Lee Corso this was going to happen, or if you want to jump with me on the conspiracy train,
I'm already there.
what are the odds he happens to be right about everything? I understand college football is hard to rig, but it ain't impossible.
Fair.
They let him
And
write the script this week.
and do you really think that Marcus Freeman and uh, Yankee Magoo and whoever of Dabo, you really think they're above getting paid a bunch of money to throw a game in the beginning of the season when it's probably not going to hurt their playoff chances all that much?
And all of those non-conference games
Yep.
specifically as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Somebody might have Patrick Mahomes to this thing a little bit, but only time will tell, I guess.
I hope so. I will say, while we're sitting here, the TCU UNC game is going on. They literally, before they go to commercial, they have it the Belichick debut game, not a
TCU
team
versus
that
Unk.
not a team that just recently went to the national championship game
Right.
versus a team that's missed more bowl games than they've made over the last decade. They have it the Belichick debut, so I hope Tennessee wins. Or not Tennessee.
TC. I never
TCU.
hope Tennessee wins.
No.
Yeah.
TCU. Yeah.
Speaking of, Tennessee actually looked good and competent with Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, he looked like an actual player of football, which shocked me.
Yeah.
And not 2024 Carson Beck with the football.
Facts. Carson Beck didn't
maybe-
even really look like 2024 Carson Beck. I'm sure we'll get into it.
Yeah.
He looked somewhere between 23 and 24. People were trying to say, oh, he looks like 23 Carson Beck again. I don't think he does, but
No.
he's better than he was last year.
Yeah.
Mainly because he has receivers who can catch a football.
Yeah, he had one less touchdown pass and like 150 less yards if he had Georgia's receivers.
Yeah. By the
From
way,
last
speaking of that, I know we're going to get into this game, but while we're talking about it, did you all see the graphic they put up that I think it was CBS put up comparing Carson Beck's debut with Cam Ward's debut at Miami and them trying to say they were similar, but didn't put the yards per attempt number because Carson Beck had significantly fewer yards per attempt than Cam Ward did that day.
Yeah. Come on. Are we for real? That really happened.
Again, Carson was fine. He was not Cam Ward and never will be.
Yeah, he was fine to actually good.
Yeah.
If we're being fully, as unbiased as we can be.
And Carson's
Carson's
also like 27 years old. So
well, yeah. People said that about Stetson Bennett. You got to say it about Carson Beck too.
But Stetson was scrappy and likable. Carson's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't the whole Carson is not consensus #1 overall draft pick. Cam Ward.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, just stop it. Stop it, y'all. Come on now.
Speaking of people who aren't consensus #1 draft picks.
Yeah, we got to move on. Texas at Ohio State. Ohio State covers the 1.5 point spread. Under 46.5 hit. Neither offense looked good. Not just looked like they should or they did last year. Neither of them looked
competent.
Decent.
Yeah.
Both Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith were held for under 50 yards. I will say the most productive Ohio State offensive player was C.J. Donaldson. It's my guy. I hyped him up. He was supposed to be RB2. Ended up having the best day for Ohio State skill players, just saying. Arch did look awful, though. And had he looked halfway decent, there's a chance Texas wins this one. Because they were actually able to run the ball against Ohio State. Like, everybody was able to get yards against Ohio State there. But Ohio State won, and honestly, I don't think it was entirely because of either defense. I know they're both supposed to be good, but both of the offenses just, man, they were running like a Model T with water in the gas tank. Like, it just getting nowhere fast.
I mean, you can go back to the 2021 game between Clemson and Georgia where, I mean, both offense, well, I guess DJU wasn't that guy, but like Georgia's offense looked like crap. I know it was a different quarterback and all that. Like it took a while for stuff to get going. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to make a definitive like statement about a team, especially if they're going against a top 5 team. week one. So I mean, we'll see how it goes going forward, but it was not what we were hoping to see at noon.
Yeah, when like I understand both of those teams are good,
Yeah,
but they looked so bad. I'm wondering just how good they are. And like Ohio State gets respect because they did beat a very talented team.
Yeah,
They beat the number one team in the country. Like I can go ahead and tell you, I've already voted in our poll for week one. Ohio State's number one.
same.
yeah,
Like they were number three. They beat the number one team in the country.
Just
They
makes sense.
yeah, like I understand most rankings are trash, but
The Nothing Finer poll is not trash, and we're still
yeah,
putting Ohio State
yeah.
number one in all likelihood.
most talented team in the country beat the fourth most talented team in the country, and the most talented team in the country has also won 6 consecutive games against top five opponents dating back to last season playoffs. They're number one. Yeah, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till proven otherwise, right?
for sure.
So a couple things for me on this. Are we gonna start talking about how Texasing is the thing?
Yes.
We
Uh,
should. We
yeah,
need
because
we need an
yeah,
easier to say name for it though.
texting.
Doing a
No,
Bevo.
Sarking.
Sarking.
All right, BYU, calm down.
Um, yeah, but I mean, like Clemsoning was a thing to an extent. How Georgia was under Mark Richt was a thing as well. But whenever Texas plays a team with comparable talent, they get beat. Look, last year twice against Georgia, and then the last two matchups against Ohio State, they just get beat. Like if it, the talent's comparable, they just can't get over the hump. And there's a lot of different things you can look at, but it's interesting that Texas can't seem to do it, and everybody thinks they're really good.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
but no, but going on from there. So Matt Patricia, I was honestly kind of surprised that to a certain extent, how well they did scheming up for this game. Again, me, I would poo-poo Matt Patricia pretty much under any circumstance. Uh, but more often than not, Ohio's going to have a decisive talent advantage over whoever they play. So Matt Patricia should be able to out scheme and know, uh, outdo other teams when he's the defensive coordinator for arguably the most talented defense in the country. So he's doing what he should do,
right.
which so there's that for him. And kind of piggybacking off of that a little bit, Ohio could win the national championship with literally anybody at quarterback if you want to make a definitive statement after Saturday. Julian Sayin, just like Arch, did not look very good. Really did not at all. I know he
No.
was former Bama commit, and obviously didn't end up going there because of all the stuff that happened there. But with the coaching change, but he did not look great. And he has all the talent around him in the world. But uh, if he's just a game manager, you're throwing it back to the early 2010s Bama teams. I mean
Yeah.
that's good
John
enough,
Parker Wilson has a national
right?
championship.
That's good enough, right? So in a team in an era of college football, there's not really a dominant team right now. There's not a boogeyman like that. It's probably going to be good enough.
Yeah.
And then last thing I have to say about this, I love the fact that Fox did the simulcast of Corso's final pick uh, for a college game day. Really, Ohio State did a really good job with everything that had to do with Corso for that, bringing him out to the 50-yard line and doing all that stuff. Like it was really cool to see. Like I enjoyed that quite a bit. I wasn't sure what to expect out of that, but that was very fitting. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ohio State being respectful is not something we're used to, but I would
Facts.
like to see it more often.
Yes, please.
Yeah, a string of words that have never been said before. Ohio State being respectful.
Yeah. Now, another sentence that has never been said before. I'm going to be fairly kind to Texas here.
You don't
But
have to
before,
be.
well, I
Yeah,
mean, before I do that, I do want to make sure I laugh at their insufferable fans. Y'all were the preseason number one, and you're the first preseason number one in history to lose their opening game. Good job.
to
Yeah,
a guy that hasn't started to a quarterback that hasn't started the game before at that, and
exactly.
that's
Yeah, think
well,
about that.
yeah.
That's true.
Also,
First win by a first time starting quarterback against an AP number one
So
team.
1-18 now.
Yeah.
I really do need to know statistically once the season started Well, I guess if we're counting week 0, Texas was technically number 1 longer than Tennessee.
That's true.
Like if we're counting, but if we're not,
We shouldn't because there's not a new poll in between.
right. So if we're just saying from kickoff on Thursday, right, 5:30
Yeah.
p.m. on Thursday to win, I guess it would be right after Texas was trailing in that game, and we could go to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Who had more hours at number 1, Tennessee or
Well,
Texas?
well, here's the thing. It technically would have been Tennessee if we're going from there because Tennessee's game kicked later. But if you're just going to use the hours of the football game, it's really hard to tell.
All right, we'll do some math and
But
figure it out.
but Tennessee did
That'd be
have
a
a
great
lead
Instagram
at
post.
one point in that game. Tennessee
Yeah.
did start the game up 3-0. So we'll figure it out. We'll run the numbers. Jamie, your Jamie's got you here.
Okay.
So anyway, I now time for me to be nice a little bit to Texas. Way too many people are looking at this game and saying, "Oh, Arch is never going to be good. Arch just isn't good." And he didn't play like God's gift to football. And I get that was the expectation the media set up, but I think it was unfair to him, like I said the other day, to put that on him just because of his last name. He did have some moments of okayness in this game, but he was something in this game that no one in the media was prepared for him to be. He was mortal, and that's okay. Everybody is. He was playing the defending national champions in their place and had to face a guy who I think should win the Heisman this year, even though he won't, Caleb Downs. So if you're a Texas fan, go get him. Nah, I'm not. I can't say this part. If you're a Texas fan, I hope you're crying right now. But Arch in particular strikes me as the type of guy to learn from this and still go on to be great. I hope he does. Hope he transfers first because I don't like Texas, but I hope he's great at some point in his career.
Are Texas fans going to arch their back anymore? For Arch?
I'm sure.
But
I'm sure, based on the demographics of Austin, it'll be about a 75%.
facts.
Counting both men and women, about
Yeah.
75% of them definitely will.
Yeah. But again, I do hope that his play in this game kills the media narrative that he's God's gift to football. I hope they stop talking like that, start treating him like a human who plays football. But I will say, hate saying I told you so. I really do. But I did come on here the other day and say that this game would come down to which team played tougher in the trenches. Ohio State's defense imposed their will on key fourth downs. They got 4 fourth down stops, including one on their own 1 yard line.
Yep.
And that was the difference in this game. Although Sark calling 4 straight runs on 2 of those fourth down drives because he didn't trust Arch because he was rattled. It had a part to play in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Judging by what I was able to see, because I was traveling to the game, it really seems like the coaching staff was not comfortable giving Arch the full playbook.
Yeah.
Which is wild. The dude's a junior.
Yeah.
He
He's
had
been
a
in the
whole
system
offseason.
long enough.
Yeah,
We'll
it's not
talk
like,
about it. Gunnar Stockton was out there running full options.
right. It's pretty crazy to say the least for that. But I mean, he's a 2A private school quarterback from Louisiana.
Fair.
He was Arch Williams. I don't know.
All right. So in 2022, college football playoff poll came out on November 1st.
On Tuesday, yeah.
Tennessee lost their game on November 5th. Week 1 started on Thursday, the 28th. Texas was no longer number 1 on Saturday the 30th. Tennessee was number 1 longer than Texas.
Well, here's the
Real
thing though.
easy.
To be fair, if we're going to be completely fair, which I think we should be, it wouldn't just be from when the college football playoff poll came out, but it would be from when play started that week. But I'm looking it up, and there was Maction that week on Tuesday, so the point stands.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
Real football.
that's how we're doing it. We need to get the Instagram post ready for all of the Texas fans to be mad, and somehow Tennessee fans be on our side for once.
Yeah,
Not
for
prepared.
once. Which
Not
orange
prepared.
team do we hate more? I guess it doesn't matter.
I
So
hate
you
the orange
think-
one with the T.
Yeah, it's a UT thing.
Yeah, but thank you, Maction, for creating that that stat for us.
All right, LSU at Clemson, the Battle of Death Valley.
Ooh,
And thankfully, it is going back to the real Death Valley because LSU won outright, covering that 5.5 point spread. The under of 55.5 hit, which was surprising to most people. Um, this
Considering the
is,
defenses in this game, yes.
yeah, for sure. So this is another example of teams just not looking great this past weekend. Offenses looked like no one was ever on the same page as the guy next to him. Um, like I don't, it really doesn't make a lot of sense with how much both of these teams were turning, but somehow LSU was able to run the ball well with the running backs, something we have not been able to say since around the time Joe Burrow was in Baton Rouge. Um, but they still only averaged 6.1 yards per attempt, so Nussmeier busting us was not he was not airing it out. It was mostly short throws.
The
Um,
narrative is that he was airing it out like crazy, but
right.
no.
Yeah.
Statistically, like I understand he did have like two long pass plays, but outside of that, everything, all of his completions were just about within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So was he throwing the ball a bit? Yeah, for sure. Was he actually putting air under it? No. No, that I've seen Mike Leach offenses with more yards per attempt.
Yeah.
But LSU's front was just absolutely destroying Clemson's game plan. And with this, one of my questions that I love to ask is it this or that? Is it Dabo's inability and unwillingness to recruit the offensive line from high school in the portal, or is LSU's defensive front actually good? Because if you listen to the show for a while, I think I said it in our first season. Dabo will never win another national championship for Clemson because of his offensive line recruiting.
Matt
But
Luke
I
does
have the
help.
big boys.
Matt
But
Luke does not help there either.
no, he likes smaller, more athletic offensive linemen, which sometimes works. But when you play an SEC team, it very much does not.
Nope.
Yeah, if it's like '07 West Virginia with Rich Rod, absolutely.
um, was part of Clemson's inability to move the ball the fact that Antonio Williams got hurt as their slot receiver? I'm sure that has something to do with it. But if you blame a loss on a single player, it means you failed your team because you did not recruit well for somebody to replace that guy.
Yep.
I
Yep.
I get it. A lot of teams are going to say that, but if one player ruins your entire offense and it's not your quarterback, let's make that clear, then you need a better offense.
Now, if you lost your top two receivers, that changes.
That's an excuse. Yeah.
No, no, it's not. Not when not when the narrative that you've been spouting for years is that you are wide receiver you and recruit wide receivers better than anybody else in the country, far and away. You can't be like, oh man, this dude sneezed, this guy hurt, get like stubbed his toe. No game matters anymore.
Yeah.
That is false. That is a false narrative.
Yeah, I
Um.
was throwing it back to the Bama excuses from the '21 national
Oh, I
championship. But
know.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That still bugs me because I have Bama fans legitimately say that to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
they still do. They're probably going to say that about the Florida State game since Ryan Williams got a boo boo too.
That game is out of hand already at that point, but yeah, they'll still use it.
Oh yeah,
Um, I just I don't know about LSU or Clemson at this point. Like, did they play each other? Yes. Did LSU win? Yes. Is LSU probably the better team? Yes. How much better? I don't know.
we don't
I
know. We don't even know what the baseline is of how good these teams could be.
no,
Yeah.
and I honestly think we may learn more about LSU next week against Louisiana Tech than we did against Clemson because I just think that when you're hyped up playing somebody that's disrespected you in their house week one, it's a little bit different than, playing in your stadium against a team that you know you're going to beat, but
Hmm.
you have to be disciplined to actually do that because anybody can beat anybody if you don't do the right thing at the right time. I mean, we've seen that not necessarily losses as a Georgia fan, but why was Nichols in Georgia a game in 2016.
Right.
Why did Georgia Southern take Georgia overtime in 2015?
Right. Like we have
Yeah.
seen it. Anything can happen if you're not prepared and if you're not disciplined. And LSU has been known to be the opposite of discipline.
Yep.
And I'm real interested to see how they play over the next couple weeks because they do have a huge game against Florida on the 13th when Georgia is playing at Tennessee.
Is that at the same time as the Tennessee game? I would assume now. That's probably a night game, right?
I hope they're not. It is at the Swamp.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I hope not. Like I hope they're not at the same time. I
Yeah. But
will. I'll be doing some research while y'all are talking about it.
Okay. All right. So, like you were saying, I'm not really sure what to take out of this game.
7:30.
Oh, sweet. There we go.
Continue.
Nice. So again, like you, I'm not really sure what to take out of this game week one. We don't really know what they did beforehand or anything like that. So it's kind of tough. We'll see in the coming weeks for that. But one thing that I did take away from it is Caden looked like he did against Georgia last year in the opener, which obviously was not great.
Yeah.
Uh, and just throwing this out here, just throwing out debate topics and stuff like that. But is the ACC basically the Big 12 with bigger name brands, Clemson, FSU, things like that? Because like legitimately, there's 8 teams that can win this league right now, and if any one of them won it, I honestly would not be shocked at this point.
That's fair, including
That's
Duke. Come on, Blue
Yep.
Devils.
that's fair, but I would say that at least over the last decade, the top of the ACC has been better than the top of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But in terms of just parity itself, I mean, I don't know, that half the league can win the ACC this year. Honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves,
Yeah,
it
for
wouldn't
sure.
it
No,
wouldn't
I
be
would agree with
shocking,
that.
especially with how Clemson played against again a very talented LSU team. And then one other thing, and this has been talked about a lot. So I'm this is not my idea. Well, what I'm going to say next is, but the idea that Clemson's entrance, the whole getting on the bus thing and driving around the stadium to get to the hill and running down the hill, uh, running down the
Has anyone ever
hill.
tripped on during that run and severely hurt themselves, by the
I
way?
would think that somebody would have blew out a knee or something at
Yeah.
some point, right? But maybe not because they keep doing it. So I'm not sure. But
But
the
also, how much do they care? Like if it's not old Rub and Tug or whoever the quarterback is, like how much do they care?
Right.
right, but it does seem like a design flaw in Clemson Stadium to where they do have to drive a bus over to the other side to
Used to
come
be a
down.
design flaw. Now it's tradition. But
I mean, you
It
could
just
say
it
the
makes no
same
sense.
thing about Virginia Tech having to walk like a quarter of a mile from the locker room to the stadium.
yeah.
That one's probably more annoying than the Clemson one, to be honest, if we're being true to ourselves here. But
Right, but
that
I just ACC's weird, man.
Yep.
man, but
What
if
can
you
you
have to get
do?
on the bus to get to the game, that's some broke boy shit. You got to step up. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's all I had there.
Yeah. I had the same question John did of is it LSU's defense or is it Clemson offense? The world may never know, or I guess we'll have to wait to find out. But Clemson had 5 3-and-outs, 2 turnovers on downs, and of course the interception. Cade Klubnik, the guy who became the Heisman Trophy favorite at about 3:30 yesterday.
Right.
Sorry, I wrote this yesterday. Had it at about
Okay, so
3:30
3:30
Saturday.
on
On
Saturday. Cool.
Saturday, he was a Heisman Trophy favorite at about 3:30 Saturday. But he had a QBR of 35.
That's not good.
Bussin' Us was
What's the
slightly
scale?
better.
Is the scale to 40?
No, I think the scale is in the hundreds. So
Oh,
Oh, the
okay, so
QB.
not good.
not
Oh
not
yeah.
not good at all. That's worse than a failing grade. Bussin' Us was slightly better, but still only averaged 6 yards per attempt. Nothing game breaking. What this game actually did teach me is that this season is pretty wide open. But
Yeah.
let me talk to the people who kept saying on social media this week, oh, now that everyone's paying players, the SEC can't win. Now that it's legal, the SEC can't win. SEC had a winning record this weekend against other Power 4 teams, had the most wins against other Power 4 teams of any other conference, and we don't claim Texas.
Well, and I will say too that Georgia did win back-to-back national championships in the NIL era as
Yeah,
well.
that's
There's
that.
that.
Yeah, that was in the NIL era. We were paying a bunch of people
Yeah.
legally.
Yep.
So was
And
everyone else.
Georgia won one of those titles, beating Michigan while Michigan was like filming practices and cheating.
Yeah. So Let's just
I,
everybody calm down about this whole the SEC is washed. They
I
went
know,
14-2.
I know the Connor Stallions thing is at this point over and honestly kind of overblown. But if it was going on during 2021,
It makes it all the more impressive, right?
it makes it much more impressive. But two, for Kirby and the staff to have come out with that game plan, he knew about it. And I would
Mm-hmm.
love to know the conversations of he was like, man, all right, so we're just going to change this hand signal to this play, and I am personally going to laugh in Connor's face because this dumbass thinks that we don't see him up in the rafters with a video camera. What are you doing? Like, oh, I hire everybody on the staff, and this dude that's wearing sunglasses at 6 a.m. in a film session, he thinks that I don't know who he is.
I hope we get a version of that Georgia documentary. Yeah, the one they did after the first year. I can't remember what that one was called. I know the second one was called Them Dogs. Can't remember what the first one was. But I hope we get a version of it now, knowing what we know about Connor Stallions, so that we can laugh about that, because I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
Or a version of the Michigan title where Jim is just calling Connor frequently during practice.
Yes.
Connor! Connor! Show the scout team how to run that play on offense. What are we doing? All right. Speaking of schools that everyone hates, and Notre Dame at Miami. Miami won, covering the 2.5 point spread, over 50.5. I will say that as Georgia fans, we complained about Bobo's game plan against Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, and he did have some time to prepare. Notre Dame had all offseason to prepare for a quarterback that was more of a pocket passer than a runner, and still try to use Riley Leonard's game plan.
They sure did.
That was absolutely atrocious. Instead of running the best running back in college football for the entire game, Jeremiah Love had 4 carries in the first half.
What are we doing?
Right.
They ran the quarterback more in the first half than they ran Jeremiah Love.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, please, somebody. All right. But anyways, it really seemed like Notre Dame spent all offseason doing everything except for planning for this game. Like I don't know what you're doing. Maybe Marcus Freeman was going to confession like ahead of time, like, hey, big dog, I'm going to spend a week in Miami. I need to go ahead and get some of this out. Like, who knows? But sorry, dog's going crazy in the hallway. Anyways, McElroy trying to say that Georgia fans are stupid for not liking Carson Beck at the exact same time that Carson Beck's career stats, 58 touchdowns and 20 interceptions, was on the screen.
That's very funny.
It's hilarious.
And I will stand by what I said, by the way, because people are still, because Miami won a football game, saying that, oh, Georgia fans are going to regret Carson Beck being on. First of all, we're fine, clearly.
Yeah.
Second of all, I said this earlier a few weeks ago. I'll say it now, and I'll say it at the end of the season. Carson Beck can throw for 5,000 yards and win the Heisman Trophy this season. I will still say Georgia's better off without him.
Yes, we saw what the locker room devolved into at the end of last season with nobody blocking for the running game, nobody attempting to catch passes. The locker room was eating itself alive. And I know we're not necessarily on Carson Beck in Georgia, but if nobody in the locker room likes the quarterback, the team will not perform well.
Yep.
And the coaching staff at a bunch of different times, even before this game, talked about how when Carson got hurt and Kirby said that Gunner's our guy, everybody erupted into cheers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not I mean, it's great for Gunner, obviously, but not a good omen for how well liked Carson was.
Yeah, but in fairness, Mike, to you, because you said this in the notes last week, you might have been right that Carson Beck not having enough time to let the receivers know his personality might have been a very good thing.
Because they caught passes for him.
Yeah.
Intentionally, they tried.
Like OBJ type catch, in the third quarter, I think? Like, good Lord.
Yeah.
That was not happening at Georgia last year.
Second quarter, because my mom went to sleep at halftime and she saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was right after that McElroy was like, they didn't do that for him at Georgia last year. No, No, you are 100% correct. They didn't. Because one, everybody hated him for good
Yeah,
reason.
he didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
For two, it's because at Georgia last year, that ball was 3 more feet over his head.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like that was going through the uprights
Yep.
of the field goal. And like the between Greg McElroy and Josh Pate, and I think it was one of the guys on game day was talking about how Georgia is going to miss Carson Beck. Here's the thing, y'all. Like I know that Greg McElroy, like he won national titles. He won national titles handing the ball off. Let's not pretend
Yep.
that he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. Let's not pretend that he understands the thought process of fans. And if we're being honest, let's not pretend that he understands the thought process of coaches. Because as a multiple time national championship winning quarterback, playing for one of the best coaches to ever do it, you would think we all know that he's not going to the NFL. Saban's going to pull him in as a GA or do something along those lines, turn him into a coach, turn him into the next Sark, turn him into the
He
next
was
Mullen.
he
And
was a
he would,
Rhodes Scholar as well.
right.
He is smart.
He is entirely way too intelligent to try to think that, hey, I'm
Yeah.
talking to 15 million people here. I'm going to pretend that every single one of them is an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what the mainstream media just does time and time again when it gets brought up that Carson Beck was run out of Georgia. And Carson can say anything he wants to about, oh, well, they definitely wanted me to stay. I don't believe it.
No,
There's no part
not
of
for
me
a
that believes
second.
that.
Not for a single solitary second.
And
Like for the same money that he was making, I'm sure they would have been able to come up with that if donors were willing to do that as well. I don't know.
I don't think the donors were willing to do what he
Mm.
wanted at the end of the
I
year.
mean, if they were asking me for $5 for Carson Beck to come back, probably
No,
not.
no.
Yeah, probably not. And then after the game on Sunday, Carson's talking with the ACC desk, and he said something about you gotta spend money to win or something. It's like
That tells me right there exactly why you left, Carson.
right, right, and it's like come on now, like I don't know a single Georgia fan that thinks Carson Beck was the answer
No.
for this season. I don't think there's a single Georgia fan out there that knows ball that's going to be like, oh yeah, man, like ooh, it would have been 63-7 if Carson was a quarterback. You can't convince me. So
No.
like Carson was made to look good by wide receivers that were able to catch passes, guys that had a catch radius of 5 yards in any direction. But those were not good passes. Those were not
No.
accurate passes. Carson is still not the guy for Georgia, and I still don't think he's the guy for Miami. Like, sure, could they make the playoff this year? 10-2, the right wins like they just had. Sure.
Florida's going to curb stomp them before that, though.
Oh my God. That's like, yeah, I hope so, I guess.
I don't know
Yeah,
what I'm rooting for in that game. Meteor. Come
Yeah.
on.
we're rooting
It's
for
like,
a lot of meteors this year. Is the
Yeah.
problem?
but I mean, I will, golly, what was I going to say? I
CJ
almost,
Carr.
no, I was going to, well, I'll say that too, but I will say that, if ESPN's writing the script for the playoff, and for some reason, if Georgia doesn't win the SEC, I'm calling it right now that Georgia's hosting Miami in that first round.
I hope so.
That'd be sick.
Their players will not have eardrums.
No.
No, no, that's gonna be. Yeah, you thought Tennessee game was loud. Ooh,
Oh,
boy. All right, but on to what I actually wrote here. So CJ Carr, he did get better throughout the game. Like fourth quarter, he was much better than he was at the beginning of the game. And obviously, as a freshman in his first start, did improve a little bit. But with Notre Dame's schedule, they really do need to run the table the rest of the way in order to host a playoff game. So I mean, if they lose to like Texas A&M in the next week or two, they more than likely are not going to have a win over a top 25 team all year. So like
yeah.
they really do need to go 11-1 the rest of the way.
Pause for something that I just saw at the bottom of the TV over here watching the game. Tennessee is without starting corner Ricky Gibson for extended period of time, potentially the rest of the season with the injury he got on Saturday.
Oof.
Mm,
So thoughts and prayers,
Yeah.
legitimately. But
Yeah.
yeah,
considering that they had a defensive back sit out and still not be with the team, like playing with the team. Uh,
That's a
boy,
big
if
loss.
Yeah.
yeah, if they're down two corners in 2 weeks, it's not a good look.
Yeah. All right, we've been on close to an hour. Do we want to move on to the game that actually
Yes.
mattered this week?
Yes, yeah. And y'all, hopefully it won't be so crazy, and we won't have like a whole 20 minutes of just like overall week talk to go through.
It was
I
But
just
can't.
such a wild week. We could not do it this week.
I would say I can't imagine week 2 being anywhere close to
Yeah.
this week.
I mean,
Yeah.
we do have the border war and Michigan at Oklahoma, and Michigan has a
Oh,
player suspended for the Oklahoma game by the NCAA.
which, which that's fucking
Linebacker
bullshit.
Barham.
Yeah. He's arguably their best defensive player. He's gonna be out for the first half. I'm barring the NCAA coming out with something in Michigan's favor, which traditionally
It's not likely.
Traditionally, no, and honestly, they don't deserve it. But also,
fair.
I'm pretty sure what I just saw go across the bottom of ESPN here was that they denied the appeal, and
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
they already
he's
said
out.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I
Fair
think
enough.
that's what I saw,
Naturally.
but I already had to rewind it to get the Tennessee player's name.
Well, I mean that makes sense. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. So obviously, Marshall at Georgia. Marshall covered the 38.5. Told y'all, I don't know,
By 1 point. Come on now.
over a 51.5 hit. We are going to go right into the first calling the dogs. It is not about this game, but it is going to go typically at this point every week. So here we go.
Prevention option. All my help is March Manning. Nah. More like 8 Manning. Fuck that kid.
And there we go. There's that. There's week one. Week one's calling the dogs. It was funnier than the transcript said. I will say. Um, yeah, very very vanilla game plan. I'm sure that's what we're going to see next week.
Yeah.
Balanced offense, something that Kirby has always wanted to see. But almost 500 yards of offense, split fairly evenly between passing and rushing. No turnovers forced. First team offense was great. Only allowed 40 yards in the first half. First two drives they allowed negative yards, which was just phenomenal. One thing that I was personally pleasantly surprised with was the dominance of the defensive front on the first few drives. They had the same four guys playing on the line. I know it's a 3-4 defense, but they have a linebacker on the line every play. Four guys on the line.
Yeah.
But Christian Miller, Jordan Hall, Gabe Harris, and Quintavious Johnson just completely controlled the front in the rushing game. Like I said, negative yards on the first two drives. Ellis Robinson looked
Yes.
phenomenal.
So happy to see him out there.
Yes. Like and this is something that I talked about last week in the podcast and on the radio. I want to see the defensive backs not just in the right place, but in the right place at the right time, playing the ball. I don't care how well you play the receiver, you're going to get burned. You're going to get PIs. But if you're right there and you smack the ball away, that's not getting called.
Yep.
So that is huge, huge thing as far as defensive backs go. On the offensive side of the ball, everyone was blocking their asses off, which is, like I said, not something we saw last year. Wide receivers, the line, as far as I know, we don't have any news on Juan Gaston, but I will say there were two or three different guys that played right guard with the first team after one went out, and they all looked good. I understand this is Marshall, but they all did look good. The tight ends, Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, Ethan Barber, true freshman, was blocking his ass off out there, playing some damn good special teams. That was great to see. But no, just in general, I could not be happier with what I saw from the entire team. The way that the team rallied around Gunner, literally anytime he did anything, it's like the entire team was dapping him up. He could go for a 3-yard run where he hit somebody with his shoulder, and every one of the 11 guys was fighting to pick him up, and that's what you want to see from a quarterback and a leader on the team. Side note about Austin P before we get into it, because we're not going to interview somebody for Austin P. They may not be a ranked FCS team. They beat Middle Tennessee State by 20 points on Saturday at Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee State is a Conference USA team.
Not a good one, but still.
Not a good one. Still FBS. Austin
Yes.
P FCS. Middle Tennessee State was 15.5 point favorites going into that game and lost by 20.
Yeah.
So Austin P FCS team not on Georgia's level.
Respect.
If
And
it's
it is the
a
18. Go ahead.
if it's 21-10 at the end of the first half, don't be surprised.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get into it later in the week, but I've been doing some research on Austin P, and I will say, boy, have I wish that I didn't.
Yeah. making me feel worried. Not worried we're gonna lose, but worried that the Doomsday Dogs are gonna come out and start yelling about stuff again.
My MRAV is having a flare up.
Some of them are still doing it because Gunnar Stockton threw for 500 yards the other day. But anyway,
Right.
the good news is, if you guys didn't notice, the Dogs made history on Saturday. It's 32 straight home wins. That is an SEC record. Bad news is that the last time Georgia had a record-breaking winning streak, Alabama ended it. But let's not think about that right now. I said the other day that I wanted to see the offense come out and score at will, and that we just kind of know what that looked like when that happened. First two drives, we very much did that, and we did it running a damn football. I'll tell you what.
Man, I know I didn't talk about it, and you might. I haven't looked through your notes. That's the bet. Nate looked the best I've seen a Georgia running back look at just pure running the football
Oh yeah,
since DeAndre Swift.
yeah.
Yep.
I didn't bring that up, but that is absolutely true. And he's going to break one of these days, and is going to look amazing doing it.
Mm-hmm.
The connection between Stockton and Zachariah Branch makes me feel warm and fuzzy feelings in my tum tum. Never going to say that again. But wow, actually, I'm probably going to say it every time he gets on the field because that's just how I feel. But every lazy commentator is still going to be comparing London Humphreys to Lad McConkey, but Zach Branch is our Lad McConkey. He's our reliable slot guy. Yeah, faster Lad McConkey. We haven't. It's not a good comp because I think he's got the zip a little more, but he is the reliable slot guy who can turn any 6-yard screen into a touchdown. That's exactly what we were missing.
He's Arian Smith that can catch the damn ball.
Yes,
and that's what we talked about all offseason.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do wish that we'd seen out of Zachariah Branch, his straight line speed.
Oh yeah,
elite.
Mm-hmm.
But he was missing a little bit of that wiggle to break away if somebody was close to him that we saw out of Lad. And, that's kind of one of those God-given things. We may never see that out of him. But if he was just hiding that, it may make me feel something in my tum-tum.
Facts. But, Zach wasn't the only Branch brother that got to shine the other day because Zion led the team in tackles and did great work in the safety spot. Gunnar didn't show off his arm too much, but he was Georgia's leading rusher in terms of yards. Kind of the theme for the week. Teams couldn't really throw the ball as much as they wanted to. They either won by getting 200 rushing yards as a team. That's how Florida did it. That's how a couple of other teams did it. They couldn't really do it through the air, but got over 200 yards on the ground. Florida State, same thing, a lot of rushing yards. Or it was just a defensive slot fest like it was in Columbus. But the run game is clearly going to be pivotal across college football this year. So I'm very glad that Georgia's got it in spades. Offensive line was very good, like you said. They weren't perfect, but they were very good. And to be fair, they were a lot better before Gaston's injury. So we'll have to see how they hold up when they play real opponents.
And if you haven't seen it, talking to the listeners here, the latest that I've seen on the injury is that it is understood to be a high ankle sprain. So nothing structural, but they were getting an MRI done last night, I believe it was, and we haven't heard anything since. Normally, when it comes to Georgia, if you don't hear anything right after an MRI, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll be back soon.
Yeah. Bama would be a very nice timetable at the. It'd be really better to have him by Tennessee, but Bama slightly more realistic one.
Get him right
I would
after
think
the
with
Tennessee
a high ankle
game. Have a bye week to get completely back into it. Let's go.
There we go. Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the good news is, even if our blocking isn't perfect, our skill players seem ready to make up for any differences there and win their one-on-ones, which is fantastic. And we did not have that last year. Offense started fast. They did slow down in the second quarter, but still covered the first half spread, which is one of the measurements I said I was looking for. Defense felt untouchable most of the game until like the threes went in there. And again, I understand we were essentially playing the equivalent, the football equivalent of taking a bunch of Lego pieces from different sets, trying to make a spaceship out of it. But you really can't ask for a much better performance on defense. Well, what was it? 40 rushing yards at halftime.
No, it's
We were
40 total yards at halftime.
40 total yards at halftime. Yeah. And so like UMass ran for about 200 yards against us last year.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was 200 yards in the first half. Like that was atrocious.
that might have been
was the
true.
Worst
Yeah.
defensive performance we've seen out of Georgia in a hot minute.
Yeah. So don't just sit here and tell me, oh, it was just Marshall, because we've played these kinds of opponents before last season and did much worse against them. So around my house, we even blocked a punt, guys. KJ Bolton got up there and blocked and I turned to my mom and said, we're about to block this punt as soon as the ball was snapped. Because they just looked like they were ready to go and get it. So around my house, the feeling is we're back, guys.
Yeah, it's nice for the team to be just as excited about the season as we are, and I feel like not even going back to the Carson thing. Like I don't even think it's that when it comes to 2023 and 2024, but the team just didn't feel as excited. As they did on Saturday, and
the fire, passion, and energy they've been pushing is working wonders. Keep it up, guys.
Yes. All right, guys, time for some awards. Who wants offense?
I'll take offense just because I was gushing about him both on social media and here on the podcast. We debated this guy or Gunnar Stockton, and don't worry, you will hear his name later, but Zachariah Branch has got to be the offensive player. I feel like he's the guy who made the biggest difference in this game as opposed to what we would have seen last year. 3 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. 3 punt returns, 24 yards. By the way, 95 yards does put him on track if he does similar in every game this year for the 1,000-yard receiving number we keep talking about.
Please make me wrong.
Yeah, I know.
And most of that 95 yards was all him.
The 45-yard touchdown pass off the screen was just beautiful stuff. Blocking helped him out too, but he made some moves on that play.
Yeah,
just a really exciting
downfield we didn't see last year.
Yeah, I know that's one thing I meant to talk about. Our receivers getting out there and actually trying to block, and being really successful with it. Clearly, because pretty much both of Zach's kind of long catches were shorter than they would have been, but the yards after the catch made a big difference, and the blocking downfield had a lot to do with that, as did his just talent. So I'm sorry, I'm going on way too long, but this dude is explosive, and he's everything that we hoped he would be, and I'm so excited to see him continue.
There's a reason why I won the Heisman with him in College Football 26.
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
I was going to take defense.
Oh no, you go for it.
All right, so defense, we got Raylan Wilson. We talked about Zion Branch. It was about to be a Branch Brothers duo here, just based on the sheer numbers that he put up. But Raylan Wilson is the only guy on the team that had more than 1 tackle for loss. 7 total tackles, 6 of them solo, 2 tackles for loss, just terrorizing the backfield. I truly believe that regardless of what the draft analysts say, he is just another in a long line of first-round Georgia linebackers after this.
Can't wait to see him in Philadelphia next year.
Oh, would you want him or CJ?
That's a tough one because you can't have both. You definitely can't have both. Ooh, don't make me choose.
I feel like CJ is probably the more likely of the two.
Oh,
right. Dude, so CJ might get picked earlier and then just leave it open because Philadelphia's winning the Super Bowl again. So
CJ, boy, he had some plays on Saturday where it looked like he wasn't even running very fast and hit the guy, and the guy legitimately flew back 5 yards.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what supplements he's taken, but he needs a brand deal.
Yeah.
He needs an NIL deal for whatever he's taking.
What helped the linebackers though was the push that the line was getting. And I said I wanted the quarterback to be confused because his offensive linemen were behind him. We basically got that. It was wonderful.
All right, so moving on to the freshman. I don't know. You have a soundboard?
Walker went 16 yards. He drove right over Orange Church, just driving and running with those big guys. My God, a freshman.
It's Elias Williams. One catch, 24-yard touchdown from Buck Leasley. I know I said that wrong, but it's all good.
It's a beautiful catch, though, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, he he was really good. I mean, obviously he has the size of Big O. He might be a little bit faster. We'll see.
Mhm.
But that was sick though. I mean, I'm excited from what we saw out of him, and I'm glad we were able to see him play on Saturday.
Yeah. Also, I thought we had the next award first. I was saying that I was going to go back to freshman because I got the soundboard. My bad. Reading, not good at it. It's fine. You can call me a Kelsey brother because I can't read. Anyways, Lumberjack Award. That's going to Gunnar Stockton. 14 to 24 for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 10 carries for 73 yards and another 2 touchdowns. Just looked like the quarterback that we've all wanted to see for a while. And was he the most efficient with passing the ball? No. Did he make up for that with his playmaking? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like, would I like to see his accuracy go up a little bit more? Sure. Would I be happy with that exact same line against Tennessee in 2 weeks? Yes.
Yeah. I hate comparing him to the greatest college football quarterback of all time. But
Talking
he
about Stetson,
made,
right?
of course, but
Okay.
he made me think of. Oh, actually, I'm talking about Logan. No, Stetson. But he made me think of like 2021 Auburn Stetson. Like he hadn't quite arrived yet at that point, but you were seeing him make some plays, and it was the making of something really special coming. So I'm hoping that the comparison is valid and that we see even more from him.
And I will say, like the game plan going into this game obviously was very, very vanilla,
Yeah,
as it
of
should
course.
be. I mean, and next week probably, hopefully the same.
Yeah. Then
Uh,
we'll probably put tendencies on tape against Tennessee just to wipe them out against Alabama. Although we
yeah,
might be able to save everything for Ole Miss now. I guess they're the best team on our
yeah,
schedule now.
we'll definitely see. But yeah, no, Gunner played well. Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. I'm just it in the obvious passing situations where like it was obvious they're going to do it. Struggled a tad bit, but again, like that's not going to be a thing maybe necessarily going forward against the better teams on our schedule.
Yeah. No, we're all excited, and I've already done the housekeeping stuff. I unintentionally did it on the top, so we're gonna get into it. Let's see, week one. Can we be accurate between you guys? Always remember, guys, there's nothing finer in the land.
Then a
And a
drunk
drunk,
obnoxious Georgia
obnoxious
fan.
Georgia fan. I spoke too
Yeah,
slow.